Hey children, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Biology Breeze. So yesterday we have learnt about seeds, okay, a different type of seeds, namely the endospermic seeds and non-endospermic seeds. Okay, so let us go to a very interesting aspect now, that is a fruit. So what is a fruit technically? A fruit is nothing but a mature ovary, isn't it? So after fertilization, there are certain changes that occurs in a flower, isn't it? Which are referred as post-fertilization changes. So in that aspect, we can say that a fruit is nothing but a matured ovary or a fertilized ovary, isn't it? Now, after the formation of fruit, isn't it? What else will be formed inside the fruit? There will be seeds. Okay, so after that, the fruit formation, the seeds also form, and seeds are nothing but a fertilized ovules. Okay, so what about the wall of the fruit? No, the wall of the fruit. No, fruit wall is there. So what is this wall? The wall is nothing but the ovary wall. So the ovary wall is known as pericarp. Okay, now if you look at some of the fruits, like for example, guava, isn't it? Guava, oranges, mango. The fruit wall is very juicy, isn't it? It's very juicy and fleshy, and therefore we call them as fleshy fruits. Okay. On the other hand, like groundnut, apricot, or almonds, the fruit wall is very hard, and therefore we call them as dry fruits. Okay. And one more thing that what we come to know that there is another classification called as a true fruits and false fruits. Okay. What are the true fruits? Now, true fruits are those fruits which develop directly from the ovary. So, if the fruit develops directly from the ovary, it is referred as a true fruit. Like, for example, the mango, for example, the groundnut, for example, tomato, brinjal, everything, right? And the false fruits are those fruits where the ovary doesn't develops into fruit. If the fruit develops other than the ovary, then they're called as false fruits. Now, for example, like in the case of apple, in the case of what do you call strawberry. So you can see a diagram here. Okay, figure 2.15 shows some examples of the false fruits. Okay, so you can see the apple being cut there, isn't it? So when you cut the apple in the same way, what do you find? You eat the part. The part that you're eating is thalamus. Okay, and you can see the seeds there exactly. Okay, so you can also see the part. Okay, in the second diagram also we can find the strawberry where the thalamus is edible here. Okay, even for example, if you take a groundnut, no, the groundnut, the green one, which has got the outer one, the very what do you call very hard, isn't it? So we have got epicarp, no? It's called epicarp. Then the middle one, which is very fibrous, called as a mesocarp, and then we have got the inside one, the endocarp, isn't it, children? So true fruits and false fruits are one of the classification of the what they call fruits. Now one more thing that what we will understand here is there are certain species, okay, where the fruit is formed even what do you call without fertilization. Okay, there are certain fruits where the fruits are formed without fertilization. Like for example, such fruits are called as a parthenocarpic fruits. What are these fruits called? Parthenocarpic fruits. So remember in the last before class or 3 4 days back we have heard about the process called parthenogenesis, isn't it? So here or maybe in the first chapter we have heard about parthenogenesis. So here this is parthenocarpy or otherwise called seedless fruits. For example, like banana, isn't it? So banana is one fruit which is there are no seeds in that. Okay, you can find grapes also nowadays. You can go to the market and see there are seedless grapes, seedless pomegranate. So many of them are available today, and therefore they are known as parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, so already in class 11th we have heard how parthenocarpy can be induced. Parthenocarpy can be induced by using certain hormones, isn't it? So growth hormones are responsible for the development of what you call parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, now coming to the seeds now. Okay, now how these seeds are very important and how it is important for the plant and also how it is important for mankind. Let us have a look. Okay, so seeds offer very much lot of advantages to both the plant as well as to the mankind. Okay, so what is inside the seed? We know seed contains an embryo, isn't it? So this embryo is a baby plant, so it has to be protected well. Okay, so the hard seed coat will be protecting the embryo. Okay, and also seeds have different strategies for dispersal into new habitats. Okay, where they can grow into and they can expand the area, isn't it? So they have got better adaptive strategies. They have better adaptive strategies for dispersal to new habitats and help the species to colonize into new areas. Okay, and what else the seeds have? The seeds have food reserves, isn't it? Why? Because there is also endosperm inside. So these seeds, what do? They will be providing the nourishment to the seedlings until the seedlings can germinate on their own. Okay, and most importantly aspect of this seed is to the plant. Since the seeds are formed by means of sexual reproduction, so there is new genetic combinations in them. Okay, and we know genetic recombinations will lead to variations, and variations are key for the evolution, isn't it? So in that case, the what do you call seeds offer a great advantage to the plant itself. Okay, how seeds are important to mankind? Let us see. Okay, now you know that farmers are being growing seeds, isn't it? They grow crops, isn't it? So how do they grow crops? Majority of crops are grown by using the seeds. So these seeds are used, okay, as used to raise a crop in the next season, isn't it? That is a very very essential part of the what you call seeds to mankind. That is, seeds are basic basis for our agriculture. Okay, and also we know that seeds can be kept throughout the year in dry form, isn't it? So what are those two properties which enable us to keep the seeds in dry form? These are nothing but the dehydration and dormancy. So dehydration and dormancy of mature seeds are the crucial for storage of seeds which can be used as a food throughout the year and also to raise a crop for the next season. Okay, and usually when we look at that, no, for example, the seeds have to be grown. That means you know that sometimes when you put the seeds in soil, they do not grow, isn't it? Maybe they're in dormant stage. Okay, they may be not having the viability. So what is this viability? The period for which a seed remain alive and maintains its germination capability. What is it? The period for which the seed remain alive and maintain its germination capability is known as viability. Okay, in few species the seeds lose viability within a few months. Okay, they do not grow, they do not germinate. Okay, but in some plants they remain active for many years. Okay, many years. Okay, and these plants and these what we call seeds have been found in various parts of the globe, various parts of the earth. Okay, like that. For example, we have seen an example here, like the seeds of lupin, that is Lupinus arcticus. Okay, germinated and flowered after an estimated record of 10,000 years. So they've been viable after even after 10,000 years of dormancy of 2000 what is dormancy. And you get the date palm. Okay, the date palm seeds of date palm may be old 2000 years and still they're able to grow. So that is how we come to know about the what you call seeds viability. So they are of great advantage to us. Okay, now let's see the next aspect. What is this apomixis and polyembryony? So apomixis is nothing but it's a type of asexual reproduction. It's a form of asexual reproduction that mimics sexual reproduction. Okay, where the seeds are formed without fertilization. Okay, it is a asexual form of asexual reproduction that mimics sexual reproduction. Okay, where the seeds are produced without fertilization. Okay, so such a phenomenon is known as apomixis or apomictic seeds. And these are very common in the case of families like Asteraceae and grasses, that is Poaceae, right? Then there are various ways of developing this apomictic seeds. Okay, now what happens? How they are formed? Usually we know that the what do you call in a embryo sac, isn't it? In some species the diploid egg cell. Okay, usually we know that the egg cell is haploid, isn't it, which is formed from the megaspore mother cell, and the megaspore mother cell is only the diploid. After it forms 4 megaspores, isn't it, which are haploid. But here there will be one diploid egg formed. Okay, diploid egg formed from the diploid megaspore mother cell, and that will develop into embryo without fertilization. So that again how the seeds will be formed, and such seed is apomictic seeds. The other way is, for example, in some species like citrus and mango. Okay, so what happens citrus and mango? Okay, in the nucellar cells surrounding the embryo sac, no, the nucellar cells surrounding the embryo sac, they protrude into the embryo sac and they develop into embryos. They develop into embryos. Okay, and usually we come across in such a phenomenon where we can find more embryos in a seed. So if you find more than one embryo in a seed, which we call this as a polyembryony. Poly means many, embryony means the formation of embryos. So usually there is only one embryo in a seed. Usually there is only one embryo in a seed. Okay, but there may be the presence of more than one embryo in a seed, and that is very common in the case of citrus and mango. Okay, so that is referred to as polyembryony. Okay, so polyembryony is nothing but the occurrence of more than one embryo in a seed. Okay, which is very commonly seen in the case of citrus and mango, and also in onion. Okay, now let us talk about the importance of apomictic seeds. Okay, so presently the cultivation of hybrid varieties of some food crops and vegetable crops have increased, isn't it? So though so much of tremendous pressure on the farmers. Okay, there's also so much of tremendous pressure on the scientists to raise and to develop some new varieties of crop plants, isn't it? So therefore, scientists are trying to find out many other varieties by which the crops can be raised. Okay. Now, one of the major problems in the cultivation of these crops is that the hybrid seeds have to be produced every year. Okay, that means when a farmer is using the hybrid seeds, he can use the seeds only for once a year. Okay, for once a season, that is for raising a particular crop. He cannot use, suppose if you have raised a crop, okay, you might think that the seeds can be stored and again you can use them. That is not possible in this. So hybrid varieties of seeds, hybrid seeds are those seeds which you can use only once. Okay, why is it that? Because if you sow them, they do not maintain their hybrid characters. What is that? The seeds will not be able to maintain. If you sow those seeds, the hybrid seeds, they are not going to maintain the character. So therefore, there is a necessity that not to use, that means you can use the hybrid seeds only once. Okay, understand. So farmers have to spend a lot of money in purchasing the hybrid seeds. They're costly, they're expensive. Okay, so now what scientists and other, what do you call, other Indian scientists are trying to find out the way for us is, now why don't we use the apomictic seeds? Now if these hybrid seeds are made into apomictic seeds, then there will be no segregation of characters and farmers can use their own seeds every year, okay, every season, and they can grow these seeds into different, what you call them, for the raising of different crops. So that is an advantage to the farmers. So let us give the advantage to the farmers, and every time let us hope that these farmers are always benefited, okay, because they are the people who are giving us the food. So let us try to help these farmers by, what you call, giving some good quality of the seeds, and then they can raise not only good crop for the nation, and also we can export these crops to the other countries. Okay children, so today topics have been covered as the fruits, different types of fruits form, right, and then the importance of seeds to the plant, to the mankind, and apomixis and polyembryony. These are very important topics. Okay children, so thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe my channel, and leave a comment. Okay, stay at home, stay safe, and also stay healthy. Thank you very much.